Well, the fight against methamphetamines is taking to the airwaves. Here to tell us more about this unprecedented effort to break meth's grip is Wes Lane, former Oklahoma County District Attorney and the current co-chair of Crystal Darkness, Oklahoma. Well, Mr. Lane, in your experience as a former prosecutor and a former DA, how tied is the addiction not only to drug offenses, but to crime in general?
It's just huge. I mean, I've heard some estimates of being upwards of 90%. I mean, quite frankly, if you go visit any prison, you're going to get virtually everybody, I would guess, that would say that they're in there. If the crime itself is not a drug crime, then there has been an association so many times. It's just gigantic.
Now, as president of the Burbridge Foundation, along with First Lady Kim Henry, you're sponsoring something called Crystal Darkness, Oklahoma. Tell us what that is.
Well, this is really an exciting deal because it's one of those win-win things. We recognize that methamphetamine has had a gigantic impact on our state. And in fact, it's reported to be probably in the top 3 drugs of choice here between alcohol, marijuana, and methamphetamine. What many people don't realize is that methamphetamine is one of the most addictive substances known to man. I mean, it's literally one of those things you can try one time and get hooked. And what we're especially concerned about is that there's an increased propensity on the part of young people, young children, to try it. We know drug dealers out there are even flavoring it, grape, strawberry, and the like, to create some sort of allure. So one of the things that we've done in this documentary is that we're wanting to impress upon young people strongly enough that they'll never want to try it. And so now we have filmed a documentary. We've filmed it all over the state. It'll air on January 13th. 30-minute documentary on virtually all television stations across the state, all the major stations and a number of independents, OETA and the like. And it'll be a very strong and compelling story about how methamphetamine has impacted Oklahoma.
Now, I've heard you say in the past that this is a problem that we can't arrest our way out of.
Right.
So what do we do from here? We're going to have this event. Then what happens?
Well, this is something that we're really especially excited about. I know I'm excited about all this, Theo, but what I'm really enthused about is that not only will we have this one-night event, but then we have actually got pushing 200 registered watch parties throughout the state, whether small towns, big towns, cities. They're all over the place. And what we're ultimately wanting to see happen is we want communities to decide to hold what we call a community forum, or a town hall meeting, if you will, in which leaders and from that community come together and they decide, you know, we want to address whatever the big substance abuse issue is in our community. Maybe it's methamphetamine, maybe it's something else. How do we do that? What can we do successfully? Well, what we're going to have, and this has been especially with the help of the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services, we'll have meth action teams that will be available to come to these meetings and present evidence-based comprehensive strategies that have worked in other communities on how they, when they come together, can successfully drive down the incidence of drug abuse in their community.
Now, this is a problem that's hit rural Oklahoma especially hard. What is being done to try to alleviate that?
Well, I tell you what, the response from rural Oklahoma to our Crystal Darkness campaign has just been huge. Every day we get people registering on our website who want to volunteer in some way. And they have been, I mean, I was in Watauga here probably 3 weeks ago, and a lady in that community had gotten together the mayor, the police chief, everybody to come together at the local restaurant to hear a presentation on this. And now they're going to be doing watch parties there. We've heard of communities like, for instance, in Salisaw, where they've moved back the big basketball game that night so they can all watch it in the gym together. Or in Cordell, where they're going to be airing it. The mayor wants to watch this in the courthouse itself, and they're having to bring extra power into the courthouse. There are exciting stories throughout rural Oklahoma where methamphetamine, especially in some parts of the state, especially in the eastern half of the state, and southeast in particular, have been dramatically impacted by methamphetamine. But I'll tell you, these rural communities are just coming out in force to support this, and then to do things in the aftermath of it to implement strategies of how they can protect their children.
And when we're talking about this protection, there is help out there. I think some people may not realize how to get it. I'm hoping that this campaign will address that.
Like one of the things that we've really worked very hard on is trying to identify what are the resources out there. You can go to our website at crystaldarknessoklahoma.org, and you can actually click on a county, and it'll drop down and it'll tell you not only where these watch parties are going to be, but also what are some of the resources in that community. Where can you go to get help? That sort of thing. And so that's been an ongoing effort. The Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services is always a great resource. They're really tuned in to where can people get help that they need.
Well, Mr. Lane, certainly a great program and one that we hope does very well for all our states' benefit.
Thank you.
And you can see more on Crystal Darkness and more links on our website at oklahomahorizon.com.